In this video we're going to be comparing the Saucony Ride 16 against the Asics Cumulus. What is up everybody and welcome to Daily Trainer HQ here at FORDY Runs and our versus videos. Yes, we've changed up the studio to do a series of versus videos. Now, I want to know from you before we do anything else, what is your go-to daily trainer? Is it the Ride 15, 16? Or is it something from Asics? What daily trainer are you currently using? Let me know in the comments and I'll dive in there once this video drops. Okay, right, so these quick versus videos, I thought it'd be awesome to bash a load of these out, film these and get these out to you, because we've got loads of shoes at FORDY Runs HQ and I wanted to film a load of these and give you some sort of versus videos which I prefer and why, and that's why we're here. So, without further ado, let's get stuck in. Okay, so how these videos work, we do stats and features, then I tell you which one I prefer and why. Okay, so Ride 16, this is £130, although I've seen it cheaper. We've got a brand new mesh upper on this shoe, which is probably the biggest change versus last year's model. We've got Power Run midsole, we've got XT900 outsole, fits true to size, and that's probably about it. Oh, it's about 9 ounces in my UK, 9.5. And then we've got the Cumulus that I keep saying wrong. We've got, what is it, Fly Foam Blast Plus, if I can remember, that would be awesome. Again, fits true to size. I think from memory it's £150, but I may be wrong on that. We've got a jacquard mesh upper, and that's probably about it. Oh, we've got a terrible outsole. In fact, both of these shoes, their outsoles aren't particularly good. When you compare it, say, something like from Puma, it makes these two look a bit silly. I forgot the weight, by the way, of this. This is over 10 ounces, but really you don't necessarily notice the weight. Now, one of the cool things, I think, is looking at the widths of these shoes. Right, so one of the cool things I think is to look at the width of these shoes. If you look, the footprint of the Cumulus is definitely wider than the Ride 16. It does feel a little bit more stable, although neither of them are particularly unstable. But this does definitely give you a more stable platform than this. The Cumulus is definitely a softer ride and a more responsive ride. So if you're liking something that's a little bit more spongy, I would go for the Asics. But if you like something a little bit more traditional and a little bit firmer, then I would go with the Ride. Now for me, out of these two, I prefer the Asics. I just really like the Asics at the moment. It's sort of Nimbus. Actually, it's a good shout. It's between the Nimbus 25 and something like the Ride 16. It's that halfway ground. So you get that nice feeling of the Fly Foam Blast Plus, but you don't have the massive stack and the weight of the Nimbus and the price as well. So it is that kind of halfway ground between the two. And I think that's why I like the Cumulus a little bit more than the Ride 16. I think this is a little bit more versatile. You can definitely go long in this, where the Ride 16 I think limits itself because of the firmer ride in terms of distance. I wouldn't necessarily want to cover a 20 mile in the Ride, where I definitely would in the Cumulus. You could quite comfortably cover a half marathon in the Cumulus. Yeah, you probably could in the Ride, but I think the Cumulus will probably give you a better ride. So overall, I think the versatility of the Cumulus definitely outweighs it, or definitely puts it ahead of the Ride 16. Now, let's just get this absolutely clear. I really like the Ride 16. I mean, I really like the Ride 16. I prefer it over like something like the Cloud Surfer, which you might think, oh, it's a bit strange. But I just like the traditional setup of it. But because I'm such a big fan of Asics shoes this year, particularly the Nimbus, this sort of halfway house of the Cumulus is a really nice shoe as a daily trainer. It really is, people. This is a good shoe, and that's why I would recommend it over the Ride. Okay, so let me know in the comments, do you agree, disagree? Have you got either of these? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you later.